Good morning, everybody. Just doing my stretches. So, I think I said something yesterday in the description, which going over it in my head, I feel like if I did the video I wanted to do, it would take an entire hour. So, we're just gonna do the condensed version and try to breeze through this as quickly as I can. Try to make this like a 5-minute video. Long story short, I heard about Jesse McCartney because of a concert. In the year 2000, there was a movie called Pokemon the Movie 2000, which in all honesty kind of sucked. It's like my least favorite Pokemon thing ever. And I don't know, because of the success of the first movie and how amazing the first soundtrack was, they were like doing their best to really capitalize on this one, and there was a lot of marketing that went into it and whatnot, but yeah, it just wasn't as good. But they had this whole concert hosted by Cal Mitchell, and at that concert, which you can probably find the video on YouTube, they had a boy band there performing a song, and that boy band was called Dream Street. And that's how I found out about them. They performed their hit song, They Don't Understand, off of the Pokemon soundtrack. And so I heard that. So I heard that song, and that's how I discovered both Dream Street and Jesse McCartney. Because he shows up at the end of the song, and he just starts belting out. And I'm like, God damn, this kid is talented. How can an 8-year-old have such pipes? Which actually turns out he was older than me, but puberty hit this guy hard when it showed up. But still, he had those pipes, and I started following Dream Street just so I could listen to this kid keep singing. And I did like Dream Street, didn't love it, but I did follow them. And I think they had that one hit that was released that everybody knows. It happens every time. My personal favorite, though, one that I still listen to this day, I Just Want Someone to Hold Me Tonight. You should check that out if you get the chance. I just want someone to hold me tonight. Oh, yeah. Somebody who's holding me tight. Oh, well. Alright. And so Dream Street breaks up. They also had a movie, The Perfect Fan. I don't know if you saw that. It was officially billed as a Dream Street movie, but really it was a Chris Truesdale movie. Because I think by that point they probably knew the band was breaking up anyways. And Chris was the front man. They were trying to make him famous and whatnot, and trying to expand his brand. That one's I think is on YouTube too, The Perfect Fan, and it's one of those just nostalgia movies that you look at it and you're like, wow, this is so horrible, but it's so horrible in such a good way that you just can't help but smile the whole way through it. So horrible. So yeah, there's that movie. It's a Chris Truesdale movie with cameo appearances by the rest of Dream Street. And then you have, so they break up, and I was a little sad, but only because it meant I couldn't listen to Jesse sing anymore. And then, next thing I know, he shows up on Summerland, which is this thing starring Lori Loughlin, but in all honesty, I didn't even remember who she was. I knew about Full House, but I mostly watched for Danny and the kids. I barely remembered Uncle Jesse and Uncle... Fuck, what was the other guy? You know who he is. Dave Collier's character. I can't remember the name. I haven't watched that show in a couple of months. Because it's in syndication right now. I just haven't looked at it. I pretty much made my way through the entire series, and now it's I need a break, and then I'll go back again. Joey Gladstone. So yeah, but I bet I didn't honestly didn't remember Rebecca at all. So yeah, I watched this because Jesse McCartney was there, playing Braden Westerly. And that's also how I got introduced to a lot of really talented people. That's how I found out about Kay Panabaker, who's an amazing actress. And I wish she would come back into acting. I feel like she's one of like the best actors of her generation. Just incredibly talented. I mean, you can see her sister Danielle is good. You can see her on The Flash, but I just think as talented as Danielle is, I just think Kay is even better. I do feel bad for Kay Panabaker though, because I feel like she's got the face of a 12-year-old, and she's gonna be just stuck that way for the rest of her life. Like, she's gonna be taking her great grandkids to school, and everyone's still gonna think that she's just their older sister on her way to middle school. But whatever, that's a whole nother story. That's also how I found out about Zac Efron, because he was on that show, and I'm still pissed at him because he keeps stealing my girlfriends. First there was Kay Panabaker, and then Vanessa Hudgens. He just keeps stealing my girlfriends. And honestly, I can't even think of him as hot. I know everyone else thinks he is, but I can't look at him like that. Every time I see him, I just see, the king of the squids. Which, if you've seen Summerland, you know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, so I watched Summerland, and I loved it. It was like my favorite show on TV. And I really loved the relationship between Braden and, I forget her name, but it was Sarah Paxton's character. I thought she and Jesse just looked really great together on screen. And yeah, and then I think it was shortly after that thing played out that Jesse started doing his music. And then he came out with Oh Beautiful Soul. First he did like the CP with 4 songs on it. Then he did like a full expanded album. And Beautiful Soul became this huge hit that everybody loved. He also had songs like She's No You and Because You Live, which is still my all-time favorite song. And then he starts getting famous. He's had a couple of other albums since then. What was it? His second album, Right Where You Want Me, I don't know if it was as much of a hit, but it still had a lot of good songs on there. Then there's also Departure, which I think it was like in his early 20s, and he decided to do less pop, more R&B feel kind of thing to it, more mature stylings. And in every song he's like, man, the thing you got behind you is amazing. Still kind of kiddish, but it's a more it kind of felt less like it didn't kind of feel like he was moving into adulthood. It kind of felt like he was moving from tween to apprehensive teen. It's like, I want to be sexual but don't know how. But I still loved most of the songs on there. It was a great album. It's my second favorite behind the first one. And I would go just like down the list and sing every single Jesse McCartney song that I love. But it turns out it's a very long list. So I actually wrote it down, and in the description, there's just going to be a list of all my top favorite Jesse McCartney songs. Just, from at the top, my absolute favorites, just all the way down to the ones that I like but don't listen to as much. And then, I mean, that's not every single Jesse McCartney song, just, the ones that I regularly listen to. And then, he's also done a lot of acting. He's played Theodore in all of the live-action Alvin and the Chipmunk movies. He's done, he played Roxas and Ventus in the Kingdom Hearts video games. Which, those Kingdom Hearts games, that's just another reason to love it even more. It's already my favorite video game. And it's just got so many amazing actors, like David Gallagher, who, if you don't recognize that name, you probably know him best as Simon Camden from Seventh Heaven. It's got Haley Joel Osment. It's got Hayden Panettiere. It's got David Boreanaz. It's early in the morning, and I'm having brain farts right now. it's just got a wide range of all when it came to America and it dubbed over. They got all of the best actors, and they did an amazing job in it, really. But anyways, see, this is one of the reasons why I'm trying to do the condensed version, because I just tend to go on tangents. But yeah, and so he's done a lot of acting just all over the place. I haven't seen every single thing he's been in, but I've checked out most of it. Cause like he was in the series Army Wives. I actually did not see that. He was he's on the new series Young and Hungry, which I just haven't been able to bring myself to watch. I mean, it's just not good. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, and now last year, 2014, he has a new album, his fourth album in Technicolor, which, as a whole, it's not my favorite album, but it does have some amazing tracks, including like my favorite song on the album, The Other Guy, which is just a really amazing story to be told. And that song inspired me to start working on a musical based on Jesse McCartney songs, which is not the first time I've done it. I did one 3-act play based on the Backstreet Boys songs. I tried to do it for Nickelback and Usher, didn't work out as well, and mostly just because I didn't know as many of the songs, and it just a lot of the storylines just felt too forced. And now I'm working on doing it again with Jesse, but that's also going on between all of these other stories that I'm working on. Because I also have this Justice League storyline that I really want to finish before I die. Because I don't know if that's going to happen. So it ends up being this really long, overblown story. But, so yeah, in between all this other stuff, I keep going back to that Jesse story. So that's something I'm working on. It's also an excuse to just keep listening to his music over and over again. Also, the guy is just really hot. I don't know if you've noticed that. Jesse McCartney is a very sexy man, which I kind of hate about him in some ways. Yeah, he's a sexy man with a beautiful voice, and he's a great actor, and he also just seems to be a really great guy. I say seems to be because I've never met him, but he seems like he's just like an upstanding, just really solid, good guy. And that kind of makes me hate him. Because it's like, stop making me wish I was you, damn it!